Listen to your favorite shows live and on demand 24/7. Download the 77 WABC mobile app now. A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
And joining us now is the great New York Post columnist, Miranda Devine. Miranda, just a little bit ago, Kamala Harris, it came to the threshold where she has enough delegates to be the Democratic presidential nominee. It actually goes to official nomination next week. But in the middle of all this is the sort of Camelot, the myth making. Talk about that, because you wrote about that.
Yes, hi Rita, hi John, hi everybody. Look, we are in the middle of this just insane, giddy, euphoric honeymoon from the Democrats for Kamala Harris. But I mean, I guess it's partly an explosion of relief that they don't have Joe Biden as a sort of walking cadaver representing them, and at least she's sort of semi-sentient. But I'm just not sure how long the honeymoon can last. I guess it really depends on the mainstream media. If they keep on giving her a free pass on everything and allowing her to backflip on all her radical left positions without even having to undergo the embarrassment of doing it in an actual interview, but just having an anonymous spokesperson come out and say, oh, no, she doesn't believe in, banning fracking anymore. I'm just not sure if the honeymoon bubble will have time to be punctured by November 6th or November 5th.
That's a great point, Miranda. Judge Weinberg has a question.
Miranda, you're absolutely right, because what you're looking at is the coronation of this woman as the president of the United States, the Democratic nominee for that office. It's a coronation, totally undemocratic. Nobody voted for her. And second, they're reinventing her whole record. So I'm very skeptical, and you more than anybody, given your long career in investigative journalism, know how the media sideswipes the real issues and buries the truth. What do you say about all this?
You're absolutely right. And it's not just the sort of traditional media, it's also social media. She has this incredible TikTok presence where she's just this dancing, girl power, queen bee of all the mean girls. And the Democratic Party has spent an absolute fortune on social media since she ascended to the throne of Joe Biden. But look, I must say, just as a sort of note of caution, I think we're going to have to just grit our teeth and ride this through for the next couple of weeks. But, I think they're trying to do the basement strategy that they used with great success with Joe Biden at the 2020 election, and really his entire presidency has been a basement presidency. He's been the most inaccessible president in history. However, I think that with Joe Biden, he had a persona that he had built up over 50 years. It was a false persona that he was, Mr. Empathy, Lunch Pail Joe, Modest Joe, Scranton Joe, the champion of the middle class, the poorest man in Congress, etc., and that he was a moderate. Whereas Kamala Harris, if she has any persona, it is as a flake, and as a San Francisco liberal. And so I don't think it's going to be all that hard to redefine her. Not like it was with Joe Biden. It was very difficult to let people see what he really was, that he was, not honest and that he was not moderate.
And Miranda, we just have a little bit left. And you're right. There's so much on tape from what Kamala Harris said, where she said, hey, I'm for everybody crossing the border. I'm against fracking. I mean, there's so much on videotape that all you have to do is say, here's what she said there. Now she may be playing, obviously, because it's election day. But before we let you go, Hunter Biden just came out, the sentencing on the gun charges. It's set for November. And then there's recommendations coming end of October. Where do you think that's going to go? And is the word pardon coming in there?
Absolutely. I mean, even though Joe Biden has said that he's not going to pardon his son, we all know that, of course, he's going to pardon him. And that explains, in some part, Hunter Biden's sort of very sanguine attitude when he got convicted, when people around him and his lawyers were all devastated. And he was, reportedly comforting them all, saying, don't worry, it'll be fine. He knows it'll be fine no matter what. I guess the fact that his father is not running again for re-election means that the September trial on tax charges, felony tax charges, won't now be a factor in the election. And that was going to be dangerous for Joe Biden if Hunter didn't take a plea, which I'm told he has no intention of doing. Maybe he'll change his mind now. But that tax trial really did implicate Joe Biden and his involvement in the family's influence peddling scheme around Ukraine and China. So I think that was perilous waters for them, and now they've avoided that.
Yeah, absolutely. Miranda, we love you. Have a great weekend. You always do such great work. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.